Thank you very much. First of all, I want to thank everybody, including those who have had to leave, for coming out tonight and sharing with us your recommendations or feelings, the different options and alternatives. There's a couple of points I want to make. I did go to more like 2.5 of the meetings at 5 of the school sites. Lakeview is in District 2, and actually I had 2 meetings with parents over the last 10 days. There's a couple of things I wanted to raise from that. I believe that the discussion we had at those 2 meetings lift up some potential policy considerations as we deliberate the superintendent's recommendation. First is and let me just raise these points. First, that clearly, and I think in looking at the summaries from each of the 5 meetings, obviously every school community wants to keep their school open. And in particular for Lakeview, the point is that the school is a choice for the vast majority of the parents and of the children there at that school. And that particularly because the school is physically and emotionally a safe and supportive learning environment for their children. Given that, I think that Director Yee had raised last meeting sort of the dynamic tension that we have about the emphasis on developing and strengthening neighborhood schools, and yet at the same time allowing for a degree of school choice. And in this case, Lakeview is, I think it's over 2/3 of the student population is coming outside of the attendance area, largely as a matter of choice and largely because of the safe and supportive learning environment there that is not found in their neighborhood schools. The second point is, and I think a number of speakers raised the issue about the planning process being flawed. One consideration is the issue about criteria. Again, Lakeview parents had raised the issue about where safety and the environment, the learning environment of a given school, why that is not factored in as a criteria. And then I believe that the issue of the engagement process with parents and school communities, that the engagement process is starting after a recommendation is made, not at the time when the criteria is being developed, or certainly not at the time when the criteria is being applied and there's lifting up a number of schools, and before a recommendation is formulated, that engagement of the school leaders and of the school community is absolutely critical. The last point is that the issue about, so given that Lakeview is predominantly a choice school for many families, what's the guarantee? And I think, again, this was raised earlier, what's the guarantee that families will be transitioned to a school of their first or second choice? I had raised that at our last meeting. I'm hoping that we'll be able to have some presentation discussion from the superintendent about what the transition process will be if we were to act favorably on the superintendent's recommendation. The last point that was raised Monday night that wasn't raised the previous Wednesday when I met with parents is if we are anticipating planning for a 20% drop-off in enrollment, if there's, say, 800, 900 students that are being affected and we anticipate upwards of 20% may drop off in terms of their enrollment next September, what is the financial impact on that, and how does that match up against the projected savings that we would get in operational costs for the closed campuses?
Thank you, Director Kakishiba. Let me just make sure I understand. So these are observations, and also are these things that you want to see addressed? You want to hear from the superintendent? What's your...
There are two of the 4 points, 2 of them are questions for discussion. One is the last one around with the financial analysis, and then the second is the what the enrollment transition process would be.
Okay, great. Thank